Major League Baseball welcomes you to the following presentation of the Miami Marlins.
From beautiful Miami, Florida, we welcome you to this presentation of Marlins baseball on Marlins TV, brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia. It's a Friday night in the Magic City, and the Marlins are back home, where tonight they take on the Padres in Game 1 of this three-game weekend series. Hey, everybody, great to be back with you. Alongside my partner, Tommy Hutton, I'm Kyle Seeloff, and Hutton, things have not been going well. There's no sugarcoating it. Clayton McCullough isn't sugarcoating it. But the Marlins are back home where they've played well. They're determined to right the ship tonight.
Kyle, I think this is the way the players have to approach it. They have to approach it as the moment. This has to be the moment. We as broadcasters, we can look back and we can say, what if? Right. What if you won 3 out of 5? What if you didn't lose 9? However, as a player, you have to live the moment. You have to play game number 104 tonight.
And we'll see how many of these Marlins can meet the moment here in Game 1 against the Padres this evening. Well, it is great to be back home. They say there's no place like home, and the Marlins have been fantastic inside the confines of Lone Depot Park this season. They are really thrilled to be back here.
Yeah, they really are. I love some of the numbers that the ball club has put up, playing in the home whites, sometimes some different jerseys as well. They love Lone Depot. Look at the numbers, 31 wins at home, tied for 4th in the major leagues. Winning percentage is good. They've won 6 of the last 7 home series. That's a key one right there. To pick out one player in particular, Otto Lopez, to tell you the even kind of year he's had, he's hitting .332 on the road. He's hitting .332 at home as well. And
you mentioned he's one of those guys, but there's many other Marlins who have been very good here at Lone Depot Park. Well, you're only as good as your next day's starting pitcher. In this case, it's Friday night starting pitcher. Marlins haven't played since Wednesday in Houston. But tonight, Ryan Gusto gets the mound for Miami. We've seen him in long relief. We've seen him starting. He's going to start here again tonight. We'll see how deep he can get into this one.
Yeah, the 27-year-old has had better numbers a little bit this year as a reliever, and I think that's how he has to approach tonight. He's probably going to go 2 innings, 3 tops. So throw the ball the way he's thrown out of the bullpen, the way he did in Houston his last time out. He threw a couple of innings, the middle game of that series, and got the velocity up. He's got a tremendous changeup. Hitters in the league hitting 111 against the Ryan Gusto changeup.
You know, 24 pitches earlier in the week, and maybe you prescribe the 35 pitch mark and maybe 3 perfect innings from Ryan Gusto. I think Clayton McCullough would take that here in Game 1 this weekend tonight. So we're walking you up the first pitch here at Lone Depot Park. The Marlins are back home. Clayton McCullough, Jacob Marcy, and the boys are ready to go. Craig Mish will have more as we get you set for Game 1 against the Padres when we return after this on Marlins TV.
He starts with.
And welcome back to Lone Depot Park here in Miami, where the Marlins open up a 6-game homestand, first of 6 tonight here against the San Diego Padres. It is the most asked question at the ballpark tonight. Is this the Marlins that had the best record in June, or are these the Marlins that have lost 9 games in a row? Baseball is a really funny sport, folks. In the month of April, the Marlins started off 5-1, then fell down to 10-18 in May. All of a sudden in June, it was bye. Look at those Marlins, 26-8. And then all of a sudden, they've lost 9 straight games in the month of August. If I had the answers, folks, I wouldn't be sitting here. So let's go to the expert, Clayton McCullough, on the ups and downs of the baseball season.
Try to keep some of the, outside noise away from them. And, it's tough when you're struggling as a team. It's tough individually at times when guys are struggling. So I think that we just continue to reinforce to them that, take care of what you can control. Come out here and be as prepared as you can, and things are going to turn. I think I don't have any doubt that each day when our group comes to the field that they're going to come out there and be ready and go compete very well.
After every losing streak begins a winning streak, as Clayton McCullough once told us earlier in the season. Hopefully that winning streak begins tonight. First pitch is coming up. The guys are all set to go. We've got Kyle Seeloff and Tommy Hutton. I'll be on the sidelines. It's the Padres and Marlins. The first of 3 here this weekend at Lone Depot Park. And first pitch is coming up next here on Marlins TV.
You every single day.
Miami Marlins baseball on Marlins TV is presented by Warner Hoffman, Gregg and Garcia, the official law firm of the Miami Marlins, by FPL, and by UHealth, pushing medicine forward. Now the sun's starting to set on a beautiful Friday night here in Miami, Florida, where the Marlins and the Padres go toe-to-toe. We're at Lone Depot Park this weekend. Game 1 of a 3-game series. Ryan Gusto is on the mound for the Marlins tonight. He is filling the vacated spot in the rotation right now that was previously occupied by Max Meyer. Let's take a look at Craig Stammen's San Diego Padres starting 9 tonight, brought to you by FPL. They're 50 and 53. They are 15 games back of the Dodgers, who are running away with things in the National League West. And there you get a look at the Padres starting lineup here this evening. They've lost 5 of their first 7 games on this 10-game road trip that began in Kansas City. They dropped a series in Atlanta yesterday with 4 one-run losses to begin this road trip for the Padres. All right, Hut, there's Ryan Gusto sporting his Hall of Fame weekend Old Florida Marlins ball cap, and looking forward to watching Ryan this evening.
Yeah, we sure are. And this year, making his 7th starts, his 12th appearance. We talked about the differences in Ryan Gusto as a starter and as a reliever out of the bullpen. And in his outing in Houston on the 21st, that was the middle game of that series, he got the velocity up. He's got good velocity when he's just going to go 2, maybe 3 innings. His signature pitch, that changeup, hitters hitting 111 against his changeup this year, but he'll use the 4-seamer, and he'll use quite a repertoire to get hitters out. But I would say tonight we're going to look 2 innings, 3 tops from Ryan Gusto.
He was seeking a little revenge earlier in the week in Houston, and I think what he sought, he got. So the Marlins are back home. They love being here. They're 31 and 20 at home. As for the Padres, they have dropped their 6th straight road series, 8 of their last 9 after their 6-5 loss to the Braves yesterday afternoon. They're 3-7-1 in their last 11 series away from Petco Park. If you told them to fire up the jet now and go home, they'd probably hop aboard, as Fernando Tatis Jr. leads this one off tonight, and the first pitch sweeper misses outside.
Yeah, they may have hopped aboard after they saw Chris Sale yesterday in Atlanta.
They jumped out to an early lead, did the Padres, against the Braves, but they couldn't hang on.
Here's the three-time All-Star Fernando Tatis Jr., who among qualified Padres is their batting average leader in the clubhouse, hitting .286 with 8 homers and 47 RBIs and a team leading 25 stolen bases. That's something to keep an eye on here this weekend. We have an early challenge. Both of these teams love to run. ABS is powered by T-Mobile. Joe Mack has issued a challenge. We'll see if he's right. And he is.
And as he has been most of the year, he is.
Good changeup at the knees. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on Tatis, and he locks him up with a fastball. Nice start for Gusto.
Boy, there's nothing like a well-placed fastball, 95 miles an hour, right after a changeup. You talk about a hitter trying to get the timing down. That fastball on the outer part of the plate just froze Tatis Jr.
So 1 up and 1 down for Gusto. Here's Cronenworth batting .206 with 3 homers and 12 runs batted in. Jake Cronenworth's been a solid ball player, parts of 7 seasons, a 2-time All-Star.
He, one of the many Padres with poor first half numbers, hitting just a little over 200 for Cronenworth.
Did he hold the swing? He did not. Jake Cronenworth, 32 years old. He was first selected by the Rays in the 7th round in 2015 out of the University of Michigan.
One of those guys the Padres have on a long-term contract, too.
7 years, $80 million that runs through the 2030 season. And one misses up and away. 2-2 on Cronenworth. Some of his best seasons were early on in his career. His first All-Star campaign in 2021 had 21 homers. Backed that up with 17 more in 2022.
Yeah, I think the best way for Ryan Gusto to approach this start is not as a starting pitcher thinking he's going to try to go 6 or 7 innings, but as a guy coming out of the bullpen to go hard with good pitches, 2, maybe 3 innings.
Here's the 2-2 from Gusto. Nice block by Joe Mack.
And I think if he does that, Kyle, Clayton McCullough would be pleased.
This will be the 7th pitch to Cronenworth, and that one missed outside for ball 4, and Ryan Gusto has issued a 1-out walk.
Yeah, let's check on the defense this evening, brought to you by Doral Kia. Looking in the outfield, you've got Hernandez, Marcy, and Griffin Conine. Otto Lopez X up the middle. Sanoja starting at third base tonight. Kyle Stowers, Joe Mack behind the plate. A lot of starts for Javi over third this year.
This is his 49th. Here's the Miami native, Manny Machado, who extended his season-high 14-game on-base streak yesterday, his longest streak since April of last season. He's got a .410 on base percentage, just Machado, over his last 61 plate appearances.
To see the numbers on Manny Machado, you think it's a misprint to see that he's hitting .205.
I know it.
He was below 200 for a while. Just a little hot streak here lately. He's taken him over 200.
This guy that's had a great career, though. He's in his 15th major league season, one that began with the Orioles in 2012 as he flies that to center. And Marcy backpedals a couple of steps to put the squeeze on out number 2.
And we'll get into it this series, but I think a Hall of Fame career for Manny Machado.
Right, I think that's fair to say. Absolutely.
So Manny flies out to Marcy. There's 2 out here in the first. There's a runner at first, and Ty France will do the batting now. He's hit safely in 10 of his last 11 games, during which he's hitting .381 with 6 home runs. He's having a good road trip. 10 for 30 on the trip with 3 doubles and 5 homers. He's one of a handful of Padres that have ever faced Ryan Gusto before, but none of these Padres outside of France have ever had at least 5 at-bats against them. So the sample size is very small.
Ty France, one of those guys you haven't heard a lot about, but he's had a nice career.
Yes,
he had an all-star year with Seattle a few years ago.
That one beat him up right there.
Pitch tailing in.
He was swung, and while swinging, he got hit.
That's correct. If he's not swinging, it's a hit by pitch. But because he was swinging, it's a strike. A hard-earned strike.
And our crew chief, the home plate umpire Lance Barksdale, was very quick to acknowledge that yes, he was hit by the pitch, but he made that sign signal that he swung.
And no argument from France. He knew it too.
It's probably a little bit of embarrassment that factors into the equation there as well. So it's 1-1 on France. You mentioned he's had a nice career. He's been an all-star. He's also won a Gold Glove. He's got those 16 home runs this season as France lays off a sweeper that misses for ball 2. There's a time between 2021 and 2024 where France was routinely a 15 to 20 homer type of guy. This is a Padres ball club. It's 19th in the league in homers. You see some of the names in this lineup, and obviously Tatis had that rotten start. And, it was a big topic and talking point. He couldn't hit homers. There's some big names in here. You'd think they'd have some more power, but really not producing the long ball. France grounds one to the left side. Lopez has got it, flips it to second, side retired, and nothing doing after the 1-out walk for Gusto.
I'm Jay.
Well, big weekend here at Lone Depot Park. Suffice to say, for both of these teams, Hut, I think maybe the most pivotal series, and at least for the Marlins' sake, their most pivotal homestand to date this season. Otto Lopez set to lead things off for Miami as we go to the last of the first. No score. The Marlins starting lineup brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia. Nice little wrinkle there. You see the guys' OPS. Otto Lopez's, it's at 866. He's batting .332. And the first offering that he sees from the 31-year-old right-hander German Marquez tonight is in there for called strike 1. 11th appearance, 10th start in the brown and gold for Marquez this season, who gets ahead of Lopez. No balls and 2 strikes.
I think he received a few medals for pitching all those years at Coors Field.
Took the mound for the first time in his career against the Rockies on April 11th. How bizarre must that have felt for a guy that spent all those seasons in Denver?
Quick scouting report on German Marquez, a Rocky stalwart he was in their rotation. He was originally signed by Tampa and started the year on the injured list. A little forearm injury.
Bogarts can't field the weakly hit ground ball by Lopez cleanly, and the Marlins have the leadoff man on base.
Finished the scouting report. Yeah, he had some time on the injured list with that forearm injury, and originally signed by the Rays.
And tonight Marquez looking to improve upon his 4-3 record with a 5.09 ERA against the Miami Marlins in his career. They do go E6.
Yeah, it's a play. I think one thing that
runner goes, no throw.
Love that.
Campusano behind the plate couldn't handle the pitch. Marlins off and running early. That's their 108th stolen base of the season.
Number 19 for Otto, and I think it's something we'll see in this series and on this homestand. Maybe a little more aggressiveness, especially when you have the opportunity. So not wasting any time. Otto got a good jump and picks up the steal.
So here's Kyle Stowers with Lopez at second. They do appeal down to third. They say Stowers did not go. I think a nice way to kind of sum this up a little bit for the Marlins right now, who are struggling, that would be, don't let them bully you. Be the bully here in these series. Really get out. Be aggressive.
Take it to the other team.
Exactly. Stowers flies one to left center. Merrill and Sheets come together. Merrill makes the catch, and there's one away. Let's go back and take a look at the stolen base by Lopez after the steal. Remember, he's got this nasty finger injury he's dealing with. He was wincing, and it's that right hand that he was probably barking a little.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? That's the hand, the right hand. Even though he has his batting glove on, he doesn't have that oven mitt on the right hand, and it's the finger, the ring finger on the right hand. Yeah. He banged up a little bit.
Such a nasty, unfortunate hop that caught him on the finger in Milwaukee, as Heriberto Hernandez comes to the plate, and he takes ball one.
Now, I wanted to get back to Otto forcing the error on Bogaerts. I think word's gotten out, certainly around baseball, that this guy gets out of the box quickly, gets up the line fast. So infielders know they're going to have to make a perfect play, maybe rush it a little bit.
Ball two on Heriberto Hernandez, who had a very good road trip. He hit .320 with a couple of doubles and an RBI. Xavier Edwards on deck. Hernandez at the plate. No score. Bottom of the first. Marlins threatening with a man at second and only one away. And a good sinker in there for strike one.
Yeah, Heriberto certainly one of the offensive highlights, hitting an 8 of 9.
And on Wednesday, he extended his team-leading on-base streak to a career-best 15 games. That goes back to July 3rd. There you go. It's also the third longest active streak in the National League, trailing only Gabby Moreno of the Diamondbacks and Jake McCarthy of the Rockies. 2-2 now on Hernandez. Those Padres lids, the Hall of Fame caps, the old throwback San Diego ball caps with the Hall of Fame insignia on the side.
On this Hall of Fame weekend.
Yeah, it's always fun. Hernandez takes strike three, no challenge. German Marquez has his first strikeout of the ball game. There's two out.
Well, it's a pretty good repertoire for Marquez, and he's able to freeze Heriberto with the slider. Check out the defense for the Padres. Gavin Sheets, Jackson Merrill, Fernando Tatis, Bogaerts and Cronenworth up the middle. Sung Moon Song at third, Ty France and Campusano behind the plate.
Xavier Edwards pushes a bunt towards third. Here comes Song, off balance throw to first. In time, got him. Craig Driver, the first base coach, telling the dugout, take a look. Felt like that one was close. And the Marlins will take a look. A challenge coming here from Miami in the bottom of the first.
Well, it's such a well-executed bunt, but just an absolutely terrific play by Song at third. He figures if he's going to play third and give Manny Machado a chance to DH, he better make some Machado-type plays.
I'll call it first base.
Look at the foot. Bingo, he beats it. That should be a base hit.
Great look right there. Challenge brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia. A couple looks for us in the booth, and we're hopeful that this one does not take a whole lot of time to turn around.
That's a weapon that a guy with speed and a guy who can bunt, like Xavier Edwards. Yeah, nice going. It's a weapon that Xavier has, that he can, come out of a little slump. He can drop down a beautiful bunt, just as he did right there, and pick up the hit.
Edwards was 2 for 23 on the road trip, and he by no means is against dropping down a 2-out bunt single, and that'll set the table now for Liam Hicks. So Lopez is at third, and here comes Liam Hicks, your Marlins team leader in homers and runs batted in. He's 2 for 3 in his career against Marquez. He's making his 9th career start against the Marlins tonight.
Uh-oh.
That was close.
Yeah, be careful. A little lean, too, by X. He was going to go.
Marlins here trying to cash in the E6 to start the inning by Bogaerts and the 2-out bunt single by Edwards. Liam was 5 for 22 with a homer and a couple of RBIs in Milwaukee and Houston. First pitch coming. There goes Edwards. The pitch is high. The throw to second base is off the mark. It's the second stolen base of the inning for the Marlins. One by Lopez, one now by Edwards, his 15th of the year.
It hasn't taken any time for us to see what the Marlins and Clayton McCullough are trying to do against San Diego. 2 stolen bases here in the first inning. Otto Lopez, Xavier Edwards. It's a good job too. It takes away a double play. It doesn't need a double play with 2 outs, but it gives.
That one gets away, but it hit him. And a run will not score. Liam Hicks was hit by the pitch, and now the bases are loaded.
Yeah, this is frustrating for Liam because I guarantee he wanted to stay in there and swing the bat right off that front toe.
And now Ruben Niebla is coming out to chat with Herman Marquez. You kind of want to know what I find fascinating a little bit, Hut. You know, working out of the stretch, Marquez has this really big leg kick. Coming into the game, he had allowed 3 stolen bases in 6 tries, but the Marlins certainly feel like, hey, even though they haven't run too much on him this season, we feel like there's an area here we can really exploit.
Yeah, I think part of this visit is to just calm him down and say, don't worry about stolen bases now. Bases are loaded. Worry about that guy at the plate,
right?
Griffin Conine.
He has been a bit of a savior here lately for the Marlins. And again, when he has been healthy, you could make an argument at times he has been the Marlins' best offensive player. Griff hit .278 on the road trip, 4 RBIs, a couple of homers and a double. And albeit it's early in this game, this is a critical juncture. The bases are loaded. There's 2 outs. Can the Marlins explode first in this one? Conine takes strike 1. A good slider by Marquez after the mound visit by Niebla.
Yeah, there's no question. It's been well chronicled. The struggles for the Marlins in this 9-game streak with runners in scoring position. But the 2 RBI leaders during the 9 games, one of them Griffin Conine, the other Joe Mack.
He's a .250 hitter in his career and 8 at bats with the bases loaded. Swinging a fly ball to center. Griff not happy. Got underneath it. And the Marlins leave him loaded here in the first.
Motion for life.
Marlins baseball on Marlins TV is presented by Warner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. A live look at Lone Depot Park on this Friday night in Miami. No scores. We go to the second. Marlins leave them loaded in the last of the first. And now Ryan Gusto will work on Jackson Merrill, Campusano, and Sheets. 5, 6, 7 due up for the Padres here at the top of the second. First pitch from Gusto to Merrill is a high fastball for a called strike 1. Jackson Merrill batting .224 on the season with 14 homers and 44 runs batted in. Post All-Star break, Jackson Merrill is tied for second in homers with 4. And he lifts that one high in the air. That'll go foul.
It's never easy, and I think we've seen it with the Marlins struggles, but it's never easy to begin post All-Star break with a 3-city road trip, and that's what the Padres are going through right now.
They are also in a stretch of 26 games in 27 days. Merrill carves this high in the air on the left side of the infield. Sanoja's got it. There's one away as we go downstairs to say hello tonight for the first time to Craig Mish.
Hey, Kyle, thanks a lot. Great to be with you guys tonight. Time now to check in on our Toyota trends, and here is the remaining strength of schedule with all of the teams sprinting toward the finish for the wild card. As you can see, the Marlins play teams above .500 the rest of the season. The team they play tonight, the Padres, just below. But guys, a little bit deceiving, I would say, here tonight, because the Marlins do have 6 games left with Philadelphia, a team right above them there. They also have 6 games left against the Cubs and 3 against the Diamondbacks. So a lot can be said here in the final 2 months, guys.
Yes, they very much can, as Luis Campusano wraps one foul outside of third. Per Fangraphs, Padres are tied for the lowest remaining strength of schedule in the National League. And now there's a big question here for wheeling and dealing A.J. Preller. He wants to buy, but he needs to decide if these are his 31-20 Padres through May 23rd, or if they are his 19-33 Padres since May 24th, which is the worst record in the National League.
Yeah, so much surrounding and talked about his all-star closer, Mason Miller, who everybody wants.
And who's under team control through 2029. Just chatting with some of the Padres personnel earlier this afternoon, there was a belief that should they deal Mason Miller, because they will get so much back, maybe they get a starting pitcher or two. Maybe they can still upgrade to the major league club and use a, say, Adrian Morejon to close and actually get better, even if they were to choose to deal Mason Miller, as Gusto misses high with a slider, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. You certainly are starting to get the sense that as we approach the trade deadline with so many teams in contention in the National League, that's going to go right down to the wire before GMs and president of baseball operations make their decisions. This is wrapped in the air, foul down the left field line. Before the next offering, and another 1-2. How about a quick word from FPL?
At FPL, our teams are working every day because reliability isn't an option, it's a commitment. FPL, working for you every single day.
These Padres working some deep counts here against Gusto in the first 2 innings. This next offering will be number 7. And that is swung on and missed. Second strikeout for Gusto, his second on the fastball. There's quickly 2 out.
Yeah, that's some good gas right there. And we talked about how he had that fastball in the mid-90s in Houston, and he got that one 95, crowding him up and in. That's going to be a swing and miss to most hitters.
Here's Gavin Sheets. Fastball misses up and away. Left-handed hitting left fielder for the Padres, Sheets. He is 3 for 19 on this road trip for San Diego. And now Joe Mack wants to go out and have a conversation with his right-hander.
You know, we talk so much about the transition that Joe Mack has made once he arrived at the major league level. I think he really has the confidence of his pitchers. They feel they can drop a breaking ball in the dirt, he'll block it.
Yep.
They know they have a good chance if a guy takes off, he'll throw him out.
Hey, don't forget, now's the perfect time to tune in here on Marlins.tv. You can stream every Marlins game this season for an all-new lower price of $54.99. Subscribe today at Marlins.tv. Heck, that's what, $1 a game? Can't beat that deal. See Sheets, you want to say the old Brewer Ben Sheets, but this is Gavin Sheets, the son of Larry Sheets. Gavin with 14 homers on the year as he chops one to the left side, sitting back on it, Sanoha. Long throw to first in time. Very quiet, perfect, tidy top of the second inning for Ryan Gusto.
Esta transmisión de los Marlins está disponible en español.
Well, back here on a beautiful Friday night in Miami as we go to the bottom of the second inning on Marlins.tv, powered by our good friends at Major League Baseball. Jacob Marcy, first pitch swinging away against Marquez. Shoots a heater foul, 0-1 on Jacob, who did not start on Wednesday. Marlins, of course, off yesterday. Clayton McCullough saying amidst all the struggles this season for Jacob, and there you see the numbers. We may very conceivably start to see a little bit more of Esteury Ruiz in center. It's crunch time, and you got to start getting production.
Yeah, I think he said too, even if the club were to see a string of right-handed pitchers, he might get Ruiz in there.
Marcy waits on a 1-1, but first Marquez stepped off. And now a pitch clock violation against Marquez, and it's 2-1.
By the way, the starting pitching, the entire staff, it's been an issue for the Padres since July 1st. Their ERA is over 5.5. That's part of their struggles.
Well, the Marlins facing this staff with a 5.68 ERA in the month of July. It was just amazing. 2-2 the count on Marcy. That throw hit the bat. See Jacob say, "What on earth?" Padres pitching allowed 4 home runs yesterday in Atlanta. And there's strike 3 called on Marcy. Knuckle curve catches him looking. That's the second strikeout for Marquez.
Yeah, this pitch, good knuckle curve ball from Marquez. I think Jacob thought it was going to be outside, freezes up a little bit, takes the called third strike.
And here is Javi Sinoja, who lays off a slider and misses downstairs.
Seeing Capasano throw that ball back and hit the bat. Didn't the catcher do that the other night and hit Ohtani in the shoulder? Thought I saw that.
I think you're right. Chopper towards third, a fair ball. Song with a strong throw to first in time. So Ohtani's teammate Alex Call, the old National, kicked him when he jumped the railing after the end of the game, and it whacked him in the right shoulder. So 2 away here in the second. Marlins left them loaded in the first, and here comes Joe Mack, who had a couple of homers and 6 RBIs on the trip. There's a fly ball in the air, deep right field. It's 1-0 Miami. Boy, he's gone deep again. That is the 10th of his rookie season. And the Marlins rookie catcher is scorching hot.
Double figures. Numero 10. Talked about Joe Mack during the 9-game losing streak, leading the club with 6 RBIs. That's number 7 now in 10 games, and has certainly shown that power stroke.
And another Marlins home run for healthcare, brought to you by Leon Medical Centers. Each Marlins homer this season means a donation to the League Against Cancer, delivering free care in South Florida. It's now the 5th time in the last 7 games that the Marlins have struck first.
Right out over the plate. You love the way his head's right down on the ball. 95 miles an hour. A little too much of the plate for Marquez's liking, but Joe loved it.
108 off the bat, and that got out of here in a hurry.
Did you see Tatis? He took 1 step and then just stopped.
Lopez, ground ball through the left side. The base hit. Otto's on for the 2nd time in as many innings. The look by Tatis is more of what they refer to as a nice little courtesy look.
A courtesy look, yeah. Well, the hit collector back at it. Little slider. Maybe off the end of the bat, but finds a hole over on the left side. Base hit number 132, continues to lead the majors in that department as well.
Something else, ain't it? Leads the league in hits, the average, multi-hit games and doubles. So here is Stowers batting for the 2nd time. He flew out to Maryland center in the first. A Joe Mack solo shot, his 10th of the season, has staked the Marlins to an early 1-0 lead. And Joe right back to work. He's got the shin guards on as they check in on Otto.
Yeah, it's always the thing I admire about catchers. You know, A lot of guys will hit that home run, then go back, check the iPad, talk to other hitters about it. Joe's got to go back, get the gear on, and then think about the next inning.
Nothing in one to count on Stowers. Here's the pitch, and that's hit foul. It is just becoming more and more obvious, Hut, that Joe Mack, with each passing day, is getting more and more comfortable in the major leagues, where he has at least looked comfortable to start, but now the offense coming around, the power is there. He's been such a threat behind the plate. I mean, the kid has just done wonders. Lopez at first. He stole second in the first. There he goes again, and Stowers hits that foul. He had to protect down in the count, 0-2, but Marlins really eager to run against Marquez this evening.
Yeah, not a bad jump again, and you can see because of the delivery of Marquez, he does lift that front leg up a little bit, gives runners an extra opportunity.
Marquez had only allowed 3 stolen bases this season. Coming into this game, the Marlins already have 2. Lopez not going. Stowers went around, and the side is retired. But a solo shot with 2 outs for the Marlins by Joe Mack has given the Marlins a 1-0 lead. It was a fastball. It was at the knees. It was on the inside corner, and that one ain't coming back, boys and girls. Well, Joe Mack has given the Marlins an early 1-0 lead this one, as you get a look at your third inning scoreboard, brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. Xander Bogaerts going to lead things off here for the Padres. Ryan Gusto back out there for his third inning of work, and got to imagine that in the not too distant future, Clayton McCullough will start to wear out that bullpen phone a little bit. I think he would love it if Gusto could get you 3 innings. Working more as that traditional opener tonight, but so far so good, as the sinker's on the corner, 0-2.
Well, you're right. You mentioned Joe Mack has given Clayton the offense, and Ryan Gusto has given him some really good pitches out on the mound, trying to give him 3 innings.
And Bogaerts wraps one on the ground to short. Easy play for Lopez. 1 away, and now a message from Doral Kia.
Take advantage of a pricito now on all of your favorite new Kia models, like a new Kia K5, Sportage, Sorento, Soul, and more.
So Bogaerts retired to begin the third, and here comes Sung-Mung Sung, the left-handed hitting third baseman for the Padres. Takes inside for ball 1. Song is in his first season. He's born in South Korea. He's 29 years old. Signed as a free agent with the Padres right before Christmas on December 22nd. He has spent 9 professional seasons overseas. At the KBO, where he was a very, very good player, had a little bit of pop, in particular last season with Kiwoom. He had 26 home runs. Batting 9th here tonight as he takes strike 2. Song spent the first 3 years of his professional career in the KBO with the Nexen Heroes. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3 for Ryan Gusto, who's retired 7 Padres in a row.
Well, this has been outstanding for Ryan Gusto. Of course, if you remember, acquired from Houston for Jesus Sanchez, filling a nice role and doing a job.
Remember, Gusto is pitching in place of Max Meyer, who we were told today is going to be shut down from throwing for 2 weeks, so it would take him a little bit of time to get ramped up as Fernando Tatis Jr. takes a called strike. The interesting thing to keep an eye on with the Marlins is can you slowly keep Gusto in your rotation and build him up to where he can become more of that traditional starter again. He was doing that in AAA Jacksonville as Tatis levels the count at a ball and a strike, but that's kind of threading the needle there for Clayton and his staff. They'll have to see if they can find a way to do that, build him up while remaining in the rotation. 1-1 on Tatis, who struck out looking at a fastball in the first. Check swing on a heater there, goes foul off to the right. 1-2. A slow start for Tatis. His first home run did not come until May 30th in Washington, D.C., which came in his 239th plate appearance of the year. Tatis waits on a 1-2 and a fastball missed inside.
Yeah, that had San Diego fans scratching their head. The length of time he went without a home run.
Swing and a miss. A perfect third inning for Ryan Gusto with a pair of strikeouts. 2.5 in the books. Marlins leading 1-0.
You're welcome.
Bottom of the third here at Lone Depot Park. Great to be back home. Scoreboard brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia. Marlins leading San Diego 1-0 thanks to a second inning Joe Mack's solo home run. And so here in the last of the third, it'll be 3-4-5. Hernandez, Edwards, and Hicks to face Marquez. Run 3 hits for the Marlins. Padres without a hit so far in this game. Ryan Gusto has looked very good. So for Heriberto Hernandez, since his on-base streak began, look at his major league ranks. He has been slugging the baseball. It feels more often than not like every hit goes for extra bases.
Well, and that's why he's gotten himself in the lineup pretty much on a regular basis against lefties and righties.
Career best 15-game on-base streak. He fouled that knuckle curve right off of Campusano, the catcher. Sent his mask flying. 1-2. The City Connect Friday night tops and bottoms here for the Marlins. It's a fan favorite. But the lids are different. Again, we have alluded to this being Hall of Fame weekend in Cooperstown, so all 30 teams in Major League Baseball have their retro hats on with the Hall of Fame logo off to the side. Heriberto lays off a knuckle curve. 2-2.
Sure, we'll talk about the 3 inductees this year: Jeff Kent, Andrew Jones, Carlos Beltran.
3-2. That's awesome. Last year the Marlins wore the teal caps for their Hall of Fame weekend. And Hernandez caught looking at a fastball. And Marquez has punched out his 4th Marlin of the night.
Yeah, you look at Martin Marquez, and I got thinking, he's a guy that was unhappy about the DH in the National League. He won a Silver Slugger one year, had 18 base hits, hit 300, and had a home run when he was pitching for the Rockies.
He was a Silver Slugger Award finalist in the National League in both 2018 and 2021, joining Mike Hampton as the only pitchers in Rockies club history to garner that recognition twice. Marquez's night is over. An early call to the bullpen. Welcome back to Lone Depot Park. Bottom of the third, Marlins leading 1-0. Craig Stammen has gone to his bullpen. An early hook for Herman Marquez, who had allowed 1 run on 3 hits over 2 1/3. And he's going to go to a lefty here. It's one of 4 available lefties to him. This is the 33-year-old left-hander out of Cincinnati, Kyle Hart. He was drafted all the way back in the 19th round in 2016 by the Red Sox. That is a fair ball. It stayed inside the bag at third. It's rolling down the left field line for Xavier Edwards, who has collected his 2nd hit of the night. And boy, how good must it feel to be back home for Xavier Edwards.
He loves it. And that's what a bump base hit will do to you sometimes. It'll really get you going. Had that bump base hit his first time up. Doesn't waste any time on the breaking ball. Pulls it past the third baseman. Song. Sweet music. to Xavier Edwards' ears.
It's the first multi-hit game for Edwards post All-Star break. It's his 14th double of the season. And for Edwards, his first extra base hit since July 8th. Now Liam Hicks shows bunt. He walked right into that slider, pulled back. It's called the ball. Should that pitch have been challenged, it looked like the entirety of the baseball was well within the strike zone. Here's a look at the numbers for Kyle Hart this season.
Yeah, he's on the year. He's not given Craig Stammen more than a couple of innings, so I would think 1-2 innings maybe. Got a pretty good repertoire. Yeah. He's not just a two-pitch guy out of the bullpen.
Good sinker, 94.
Yeah, he'll use that. He's got a sweeper, a splitter, got a slider.
He has been drafted and granted free agency and signed with different teams a handful of times. Hicks walks into another one and it misses low. He was drafted by the Red Sox. He has signed free agent deals with the Phillies, the Mariners, now the Padres twice. Liam Hicks was hit by a pitch to load the bases in the first. Marlins threatening again. Trying to cash in a one-out double by Edwards here in the third. Griff Conine on deck as Hicks takes strike two at the knees.
Liam Hicks, one of those guys who was certainly happy to return home to Lone Depot.
Yeah.
Came into this game tonight hitting .301 at home. Overall, Liam right around .285.
Hicks a .291 hitter with runners in scoring position. Whoa. That was close. Edwards, not sure he was taking off, but he had gotten a very aggressive lead off the bag at second. And when Hart spun and looked his way, it was a mad dash back to the bag.
Yeah, he got their attention. There's no question about that.
2-2. Got him, and he loses his helmet. Hicks strikes out on a sweeper, and there's two away.
I think a lot of that, the helmet coming off, had to do with where the pitch was. The sweeper kind of stayed inside, and he gets that head. He pulls that head away from it, and that took the helmet off his head as well. That's one of those ABs he wanted to just forget about.
So here is Conine, who is seeking some form of redemption. And he hits a high chopper. This is going to be a tough play. Here comes Bogarts. He'll throw it to first. It's not in time. Conine is safe on an infield single.
He got the burners going when he chopped that ball high in the air. You know you have a chance to extend the inning, get that infield base hit, put his head down, and beat the throw.
He beat it with plenty to spare. So now first and third with two outs, and here is Jacob Marcy. He struck out looking at a curveball in the second. Edwards at third, Conine at first. Hart kicks and fires. A sinker that missed inside.
Talk about certain moments that can really build confidence. A base hit right here for Jacob Marcy would build that confidence immensely.
We have a challenge here. Who challenged? The second base umpire, Will Little, was just the one that told Lance Barksdale, the crew chief, that there's a challenge. So this is a Padres challenge. ABS is powered by T-Mobile. And that is a ball. I wonder, was it Hart that challenged?
San Diego has one challenge remaining.
The pitchers should not be challenging. They've been awful at it this season. Watch the catcher.
A quick little tap that, and then threw the ball back. That was very subtle.
So it wasn't Hart. It was Campusano. Very subtle and maybe be more audible to Barksdale, but Will Little, the second base umpire, was the one that kind of sprinted in and said, hey, we have a challenge. So the Padres have lost one. They're down to one. And the 1-0 to Marcy. This is low and away for ball two.
I would imagine Craig Stammen, first-year manager of the Padres this year, and a former pitcher, would probably want to keep his pitchers out of challenges.
Yeah. Pitchers overturn percentage this year 37%, catchers 58.8, batters 47.8. 2-1 on Marcy. Marlins looking for a 2-out base hit, leading 1-0. Swinging a shot out towards second, but right at Cronenworth, and the side is retired. The Marlins leave a pair, but still lead 1-0.
This is it.
Marlins lead 1-0. Scoreboard here in the top of the fourth, brought to you by FPL. Here's our youth player of the ball game tonight, Gavin. Plays for Team CSA All-Stars, Coral Springs American Little League, and Gavin is a huge fan of Kyle Stowers. As Jake Cronenworth takes strike one from, how about this, Ryan Gusto, who begins the top of the fourth.
Tell you what, he's thrown some great pitches, but even better location. Cutters, fastballs, sinkers, changeups.
Cronenworth out in front of a sweeper, quickly 0-2. Ground ball hit sharply to second. Flagging it down to his left is Edwards. A little flip to first in time. Cronenworth is out. There's one away.
You know what, Kyle? A boost for a team that has lost 9 straight can come from many different areas.
Sure.
Can come from the offense, could come from some great defense. But right now, in this case, it's coming from a guy who's getting a spot start, who's expected maybe to go 2 or 3 innings, and he's pitching here in the fourth in Ryan Gusto.
And Machado lifts one in the air, foul, out of play. So how about this? If you take into consideration his 3 1/3 shutout innings tonight, and he has not yet allowed a hit, for Ryan Gusto, spanning his last 4 appearances and his last 9 2/3 innings of work, he's allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, just 1 earned, with 1 walk and 9 strikeouts in his last 9 2/3. That's a sub-1 ERA.
You would think he's trying to earn a spot in the rotation, and he just might, pitching the way he is tonight.
Imagine if he mixed in an 8th pitch into that repertoire. It's pretty amazing. He's thrown 7 pitches in this game. It's 7 different variations of offerings. He knocked Manny Machado off the plate with that sinker. Here's your Padres in-game box score. Tatis and Cronenworth 0 for 2, 0 for 1. Padres still hitless. Machado 0 for 1. Flew out to center in the first.
Even as slow a start and bad a year that Manny has had, hitting just a little over 200, he still has 22 home runs, 391 in his career.
Yep. And he yanks that sweeper into left for a base hit. And a 1-out single for the Padres, their first hit of the ball game. And another base runner for San Diego.
Haven't been too many mistake pitches that have been real hittable. This sweeper, a little bit up, a little bit out over the plate. And we talked about how Manny Machado has gotten hot as of late. Came into the game hitting over 330 the last 11 games. So saw that sweeper out over the plate and attacked it.
Ty France with a big swing on that cutter that's tipped foul. 0-1 on him. France 10 for his last 31 at the plate. He has struggled in his career against the Marlins. Numbers do not look good at all. He's got that wide open stance from the right side. France is a 176 hitter, playing in his 23rd career game against the Marlins today.
Sure, he feels comfortable with the Padres. He went to San Diego State.
Yes. That one's coming back our way, foul. '34th round pick by the Padres out of SDSU in 2015. Want to talk about a good story? They don't even have that many rounds anymore.
No, they don't.
The 1-2 is hit sharply out towards the gap in left center. Hernandez flags it down. Machado will go to third. France falls down after he takes a big turn at first. And a throw back that way is not in time. He had to dive back in safely. And the Padres have a threat brewing for the first time tonight.
Well, I tell you what, a nice play by Heriberto Hernandez in left field. If this ball gets through the gap, Machado's able to score. Not only does he get over and cut it off, he gets it back into second base, knowing that Machado's going to go first to third. So he's trying to hold France to a single, and he did. That was a great play.
And France fell down, hence the throw to first. So that'll do it for Ryan Gusto, who goes 3 1/3 and allows 2 hits and no runs, but he is responsible for the runners at first and third. Cade Gibson will be the new pitcher when we return. Well, make sure you come out to the yard and catch the Marlins and the Phillies Monday through Wednesday of next week and score hot deals. You can enjoy $1 kids tickets. Yeah, the Marlins' terrific 4 for $44 offer presented by Pepsi. Get yourself 4 tickets plus 4 hot dogs, popcorn, and drinks, all for just $44. Get your tickets at marlins.com/tickets. With Tommy Hutton and Craig Mish, I'm Kyle Seeloff. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Friday night. Gibson delivers to Merrill, a curveball that misses low.
These games, and we'll see it from both sides with Marquez coming out early, really make it a game where you focus in on the managers and the moves, getting matchups, getting a lefty to face the lefty, in this case Gibson facing Merrill.
High slider for strike 1 on Merrill, who's 0 for 1. He popped out to Sanoja to lead off the second. First and third, 1 out, infield in. And Merrill lays off a sweeper.
Cade Gibson, I thought, really filled a nice role, especially with John King out. And he gave Clayton confidence to bring him into games. Just giving up 1 unearned run over his last 6 appearances.
That's going to tie the ball game. Conine races over and makes the catch to put the squeeze on out number 2. But tagging from third and scoring is Machado on a sac fly by Jackson Merrill. But I'll tell you what, Griffin Conine covered a ton of ground in a hurry to make sure that that ball did not fall in the gap.
Yeah, in order to track this down, Griffin Conine had to get a good jump. He did, because you can see Marcy shading into left center with Merrill the hitter. So there was a nice opening, a pretty good gap in right center that was filled up by Griffin Conine.
And here's the catcher Campusano with 2 away. Gibson lobs a curveball over at the knees for strike 1. Campusano 0 for 1. I don't know how much golf he played growing up, but he was born in Augusta. I don't know if he's of a golfing variety, but with the Padres, he could just take a golf cart up to Torrey Pines. At Cross Creek High School in Cross Creek, Georgia, did Luis Campusano. Pretty high draft pick, too. 2nd rounder back in 2017 out of high school. Only 7th season all with San Diego. He waits on a 2-1 from Cade Gibson, on in relief of Ryan Gusto. And his sweeper misses outside for ball 3. Campusano, a suitable guy to have around. He's never played more than 91 games in a season. Those 91 came in 2024. As he takes a 3-1 curveball for strike 2.
Yeah, starting just his 27th game behind the plate this year.
One of his better seasons offensively, coming into the ninth, hitting .284 with a .914 OPS. And an OPS plus of 153. He's 53% better than the league average player. Gibson's 3-2 with a runner on the move. This is inside for ball 4. So France will go to second. Campusano will go to first after the 2-out walk issued by Gibson. The book still not closed on Ryan Gusto, who is responsible for France at second. It's pretty good honest work though by Ryan. Kind of in a pinch here. Almost needed to fill the Max Meyer spot in the rotation. Gavin Sheets takes on the inside corner, 0-1.
You know, you almost look at that at bat of Campusano. You hate to put a runner into scoring position, but walking him wasn't all that bad because now he's got the matchup in his favor against the lefty.
Ground ball hit weakly out towards second. It eludes the bag. Otto steps on it. Side retired. Padres tie it. Now back with you here in Miami tonight, where we go to the last of the 4th inning. Marlins and the Padres are tied at 1. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. Tommy Hunt and Kyle Seeloff. You know, I thought Ryan Gusto pretty good tonight. And you think back to where all this magic started to happen for the Marlins at the beginning of June. Remember, they only had 2 starting pitchers, but as it pertains to tonight's game, Ryan Gusto pretty darn good.
You know, when we talked to Clayton McCullough before the game, he was talking about Ryan Gusto tonight and hoping that he'd get a couple of innings, maybe 3. And he threw the ball well. He had all of his repertoire working. We saw some good cutters, some excellent changeups, some 2-seamers. He had it going, and he threw the ball well. And that's a good sign, because moving forward, we could see him fill that role. Because I think as the game started, Clayton was a little hesitant as to say who might fill that role the next time. But I think the way Ryan Gusto pitched tonight, he might be the guy.
It's going to be interesting if they can continue to kind of stretch him out a little bit, right? Do this while keeping him in the rotation as Sanoja flies one foul outside of third into the seats. That's a souvenir. Make sure you unite to help Venezuela and join us for the Marlins Venezuelan Heritage Celebration presented by Santa Teresa as part of the T-Mobile Heritage Series tomorrow at 4:10. Your package will include an exclusive jersey, and a portion of every ticket sold will benefit Venezuelan relief efforts. Get your tickets at marlins.com/Venezuela. Javier Sanoja is 0 for 1 tonight. Venezuelan right-handed hitting third baseman. That'll be a special day for some of these guys tomorrow. Obviously, the Marlins' support of Javi and his brethren have meant a lot to him. Cronenworth throws out Sanoja, and there's one away here to begin the 4th.
Yeah, we talked about Javi starting for the 49th time at third base. Started just 26 times at third base last year, but I think this year it's been more of a necessity.
The Marlins bullpen is active. Tyler Zuber and Michael Peterson are both loosening. A lefty-lefty matchup. Joe Mack facing Kyle Hart. And the slider's called strike 1 at the knees. Just the second home run for Joe Mack here at Lone Depot Park. 8 have come on the road.
You remember he went a while that he hadn't hit one here, and he told us that, man, I just can't wait to hit one at home.
Well, his 10th, which came in the second, he ushered in his 10th homer of the season with some authority, I'll tell you. He's got one of the 5 Marlins hits in this game. The leadoff man, Otto Lopez, is on deck. Xavier Edwards with a couple of hits, a single and a double, halfway to the cycle as Mack spits on a splitter. It's 1-2. ball to center. Merrill's going back. Warning track. Wall. He's got it. And Joe Mack just missed a multi-homer night.
Yeah, deep part out there in almost straightaway center field. He knows if he pulls that ball a little bit more, he's got himself number 2. But a good swing, and good to see Joe have good swings against lefties.
Boy, he hit that well. Merrill out there with just a little bit of room to spare. You see Joe nodding, almost as if to say, yeah, if I didn't hit it right there, to your point.
Yep.
That's his 11th. So here is Otto, who reached on an error by the shortstop Bogarts in the first and then singled in the second as he takes a splitter outside.
I thought it was incredible when I looked at the numbers before the game. Otto hitting 332. 332 at home, 332 on the road.
As steady as they come.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, because if you start to break down the home road splits, 30 strikeouts on the road, 30 at home, 10 walks at home, 12 on the road. He's got 9 stolen bases each at home and on the road.
I think OPS is similar in the ballpark.
Yes, yes. Homers, triples, doubles, it's all very similar. Otto chops that out in front of the plate. Hart spins and fires the first. In time, they say in time. Now let's see about that. Let's see if the Marlins want to challenge.
If they got him, it's a heck of a play by Hart.
Nicely done by Kyle Hart. Side retired.
That started it all.
Warner, Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia provides you with our top of the 5th inning scoreboard. Padres 1, Marlins 1. San Diego with 2 hits. The Marlins with 5. So Bogarts, Song, and Tatis, a pair of righties and a lefty sandwiched in between the two. Kate Gibson stays out there for Miami.
Let's talk a little bit about what a manager has to think about now. He's got Cade out there, the lefty. He's going to go after Bogarts, then the left-handed hitting Song. So do you stay with the lefty for Tatis? After Tatis, another left-hander, Cronenworth. Or do you bring in a righty for Tatis?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting question.
So that's what goes through a manager's mind.
And there's certain factors at play there.
So all of those who are watching that are second guessing, figure that out right now. Come on, give me the answer right now.
It's tough to do.
What are you going to do?
And can the way that he looks in the first 2 batters of this inning dictate maybe a decision?
Yes, if there's a man on base, that dictates the decision possibly.
And he's probably not helping himself. He has fallen behind Bogarts 3-0. You see Song on deck, and there's ball 4. A 4-pitch walk by Cade Gibson to begin the top of the 5th. And the Padres have the leadoff man aboard as we go downstairs to Craig.
Thanks, Kyle. Time now for our Ocean Bank Making Waves. Let's check in on High A Beloit, where Dylan Head has arguably had the best month of his minor league career. 379 in the month of July. 2 home runs, a couple of triples, 7 doubles. Remember, the Marlins got him in that trade that sent Luis Arias to these very same San Diego Padres. If Head picks it up, could be on the way to Double-A.
Bunt towards third. Sanoja throws out Song. One away here as Bogarts goes up to second, and we'll see if that triggers a decision here by Clayton McCullough, and it will.
So there you go. We have our answer.
Sacrifice bunt goes 5-3. Clayton on his way to the mound, and he'll go to a right-hander here to face the top of the order in Fernando Tatis Jr. Michael Peterson will be the guy. And big assignment here for Peterson with Tatis and then Cronenworth due up. Padres have the leadoff man aboard for the first time tonight. Bogarts at second. There's one away as we go back downstairs to Craig.
All right, thanks, Kyle. Special day at the ballpark today. All of the Marlins draft picks were signed and in attendance earlier today during batting practice at Lone Depot Park, and that includes first-round draft pick. Of course, no question, Jacob Lombard has a bright future with the club. I had a chance to catch up with him before the game. Thanks, guys. Jacob, what a whirlwind it has to have been for you, being drafted, now putting on the Marlins jersey, throwing out the first pitch tonight. How does it all feel?
It's a little surreal. I mean, it took a couple of days for me to really let it all sink in and kind of see all the faces of my family members and how happy they are for me to be here, but also to kind of realize how cool of an opportunity it is and how happy I am to be here and represent my hometown and now get everything started. So
I think that's really the coolest part, as you said, about the story, is that you grew up in South Florida, and certainly your brother, he ends up in the Yankees. We won't get to the Yankees here. We're talking Marlins here for a minute. But Jacob, then the Marlins come calling, and then you get that call that you're actually going to be a Marlin, and then you, of course, now sign with the club. You talk about dreams coming true. This doesn't happen that often in the big leagues.
You're absolutely right. I mean, we were sitting in that room when they made the call, and my mom's face lit up. Obviously, she knew what she wanted, and of course, short after, I knew what I wanted to do. So we made the decision, and I'm very happy to be here.
And as you've always been a really hard worker, whether it's been on the soccer field or the baseball field at Gulliver, the work truly does begin for you. Take us through what the next couple of weeks, the expectations are, and what you'll be doing in the club and the organization.
So we're just finishing up draft camp, which has gone awesome. I feel like I've learned so much in such a short amount of days. And right after this, we get to head to Jupiter, the complex, and meet all the people, kind of assess what the plan will be for each individual player. So I won't know until I get there, but I know I'm heading to Jupiter tonight.
Congratulations, Jacob, and I know we will see you soon in Jupiter.
Thank you so much.
Guys, back to you.
All right, great stuff, Craig. Thank you so much. Fernando Tatis Jr. chops one towards third. Sanoja looks back to runner Bogarts at second and throws out Tatis, who was not hustling down the line in the slightest. And one pitch and one out for Michael Peterson on the relief of Cade Gibson.
Let's say you make over $30 million, you'd think you'd give a little better effort going up the first base line. Good job by Sanoja. There's Tatis. Ho hum.
That's incredible.
That doesn't endear himself, I don't think, to San Diego Padre fans. I wouldn't think.
Yeah. Man, it's a tough look. So 2 out, and here is Jake Cronenworth. Also, you see that, and then you watch these Marlins led by Clayton McCullough, and
that's what makes you appreciate the way they've played and approached the game, even during a 9-game losing streak.
There's no question. Absolutely no question.
Clayton said that before the game. He said, "There's no doubt in my mind when these guys show up, I know the kind of effort I'm going to get."
Yep. And then he went on to say, "Look, as rotten as this feels right now, I don't feel like the guys are at ends or at odds with each other in the clubhouse. The effort is there. The hustle's still there. We just got to win. Take it any way you can get it right now, but you appreciate the effort." Cronenworth slaps that fastball foul. It's 1-2.
Speaking of efforts, Michael Peterson has held opponents scoreless in 10 of his last 12 outings with an ERA of 1.50. He has been outstanding and used in many different situations. Here in this game, early in the game, 5th inning.
Slider misses downstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Make sure you stay tuned till the 7th inning for the stretch, brought to you by Celsius. And there's Bogarts at second after Song sacrificed him there. Now there's 2 out, and the 2-2 is picked by Joe Mack. I mean, that is something else there. Just gotta throw the leather at it and keep it in front of you. Make sure Bogarts doesn't get the extra 90.
Yeah, that's the key. Catchers always learn to do that. If they keep the ball out in front so the runner can see them, they can't advance.
Tied at 1 here in the top of the 5th inning of game 1 of a big 3-game weekend series between the Marlins and the Padres. 2 teams fighting for that final wild card berth in the National League. 3-2. We'll do it again. We got Ryan Gusto tonight, and then tomorrow Gary Perez will take the mound. The Sears versus Perez at 3:45. That's when our coverage will begin.
Sears a lefty.
3-2. Fly ball. Left field over Hernandez into the corner and foul. That was hit pretty well, or at least it carried.
He's had some pretty good cuts at some four-seamers that Michael Peterson has thrown. You see the sequence, a couple of sliders in the middle there, and the rest have been that 98, 99 four-seamer.
Only one of 19 inherited runners have scored against Michael Peterson this season. 3-2. Ball four. There's two aboard with two out now for Machado.
One of the areas that has, I think, really hurt. There've been a number of things that has really hurt the Marlins during this 9-game stretch. Out of the bullpen has allowed 8 home runs.
Yes.
So they've given up that long ball in key situations.
So here is Machado, who's laid on that heater at 99 miles an hour. It's 0-1 on Manny, who's 1 for 2. He collected the first hit of the ball game. That was back in the 4th off of Gusto, who gave way to Gibson. And now Peterson on in relief of Cade. Bogart's at second. Cronenworth at first. Look out, Hutt. That one's coming back our way.
Yeah, just below us. One hop. Almost came in the booth.
Sure did.
Much better on that second hop. It would have been.
Oh yeah. It'd be foolish to try to collect it on the initial fly-in, the initial descent. Nothing in 2 on Machado. Peterson delivers, and Machado yanks one into left for a base hit. It's booted by Hernandez. The Padres have taken the lead. Machado is on his way to second, and he's got a RBI, and the Padres lead for the first time in this game. Bogart scores. Cronenworth goes to third. There's surely going to be an error somewhere. It'll be an RBI single for Machado, who does take second on the E7 by Hernandez.
Yeah, he just timed up this heater perfectly. Saw a few earlier in the count. Rips that ball sharply as Hernandez comes over. He bobbles. I don't know if there will be an error charge because I think it's a double unless they think Machado, the run would have scored anyway.
Well, Machado took off as soon as Hernandez bobbled it, so it's going to be a single on the line drive and an E7 by Hernandez, his second error of the season. Watch Manny. He really doesn't kick it into 6th gear until he sees the bobble. Kind of turn it on there.
You kind of got to give an error then. If he's going hard, it's a double all the way.
Right. So 2-1 San Diego. Ty France is batting. And he waves and misses at a slider. 0-2. So the leadoff walk by Cade Gibson does come back to hurt the Marlins here in the 5th. Cronenworth at third, Machado at second. And France lifts a fly ball out towards the gap in left center. Hernandez going back with room. He's got it. A run on a hit. It's 2-1 San Diego. Well, here's your bottom of the 5th inning odds update brought to you by Hard Rock Bet. The under on 4.5 Marlins runs now sitting at -325. The over at +2.25. As for Otto Lopez and his hits, about over 1.5 now, sitting at -190 and +130 on the over. -190 on the under, +130 on the over as Kyle Stowers fouls off a sinker to begin the bottom of the 5th inning, facing Kyle Hart.
Well, trying to bunt. He saw how far Song is playing off the bag and deep at third against the lefty, just trying to get something started to start the inning.
Hart has been in the game since the 3rd. And Stowers went around. It was also a called strike. It's 0-2. Marquez went 2 1/3. A lot of run. It was earned. 3 hits, no walks, 4 strikeouts, 2 unanswered by the Padres after the Joe Mack solo shot that he deposited into that Padres bullpen in right field back in the second. So Stowers, Hernandez, and Edwards facing Hart. Joe kicks and fires an 0-2 and misses low and away. There's Bachner and John King. King back today. He did not require a rehab stint. Clayton said as much earlier in the week. Said it doesn't look like we'll need that. And Stowers strikes out for the second time tonight. Make sure you start your game day early with Blue Moon Live. Enjoy $7 Blue Moon drafts, $3 hot dogs, and live music before the Marlins take the field on select Saturdays this season. You can get your tickets at marlins.com/tickets. Looks like a good time. How about the bite to eat as well? Well, Kyle Hart is done, and we'll take a pitching change break here in the 5th. That's a pretty cool shot inside of Lone Depot Park and inside of our camera well out there in dead center field as Heriberto Hernandez saunters to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And now this is an interesting one for Craig Stammen. One lefty gives way to another. Kyle Hart is out. And the veteran left-hander and the 34-year-old southpaw Wandy Peralta is on to pitch for San Diego. He's having a great year. It's his 45th appearance and first pitch sinker at 97 from the 34-year-old lefty. He's a called strike. 3.02 ERA. He's made 4 starts. He's worked 50 2/3 innings.
Yeah, you talk about a guy who's been around his 10th year in the big leagues.
Hernandez slugs that to center and deep, and we are tied. Heriberto Hernandez. Not wasting any time. Sends that changeup over the wall in center. His 14th home run of the season. It's 2-2.
Boy, you love to tie him quickly. The Fish brought out the long ball tonight. Joe Mack, Heriberto Hernandez.
That was a 421-foot home run, which means baseball fans can score too. Unlock your free 20-ounce Baja Blast by registering now at BajaBlastHomeRuns.com. So now Hernandez tied for the team lead in homers with Hicks with 14.
Got a little changeup away. Just 90 miles an hour, middle of the plate. The veteran Wandy Peralta didn't get it where he wanted to.
That was about the same darn swinging location as his walk-off grand slam earlier in the year. That ball is clobbered.
Yeah, he likes that berm in the tunnel out there in center field.
And another Marlins home run for healthcare brought to you by Leon Medical Centers. Each Marlins homer means a donation to the League Against Cancer, delivering free care in South Florida.
And boy, do you love that. The fact that the Marlins gave up the lead. Padres took the lead in the top half. They came right back to tie it with the long ball.
2 solo homers. 2 runs on the scoreboard as Xavier Edwards strikes out on a good changeup from Peralta. And there's 2 out.
That's the changeup he probably wanted to throw to Hernandez.
I agree. I agree with you there. So now there's 2 out in the inning. And here is Liam Hicks, who gets jammed, and on a pop, Cronenworth collects that and throws him out. But we are tied. There's 5 in the books here at Lone Depot Park. Heriberto Hernandez has tied it.
Welcome back to Lone Depot Park here in Miami, where the Marlins and Padres are all tied up at 2. Earlier today, the Marlins had the opportunity to show off their brand new draft picks. 21 players in total in the 2026 draft class. Congratulations to them and Frankie Pilleri, who got all of the players signed, including first-round pick Jacob Lombard and the rest of the kids who now will head on to Jupiter. Also, you see on the left end there, Rintaro Sasaki, 8th-round pick, opted to sign with the Marlins as opposed to playing with SoftBank. Interesting choice made. Lots of media in the house today, too, guys. Back to you.
Very cool, very exciting to see the Japanese media following around the old Stanford star as Jackson Merrill cracks the first one on the ground towards first. Bakker gets over in time. Good toss from Stowers. 1 pitch and 1 out for Bakker here in the 6th.
What a fun experience for those young kids too. The draft picks signed, ready to go, ready to start their professional careers. Watch this play unfold. Good job by Stowers, the good flip, and Lake Bakker, the former San Diego Padre draft pick.
That's right.
Got over there nicely.
Certainly some San Diego ties here in the house on this Marlins roster. Xavier Edwards. How about guys that live in the area?
Jacob Marcy.
Marcy was with the Padres, but a guy like Kyle Stowers grew up there. Calvin Fauché grew up in the area. There's Jacob. Here's Luis Campusano, who waits on a 1-0. Oh, that's a beautiful curveball. My goodness, 1-1.
Gone are the days, and it's really been incorporated, especially by the Marlins, I think, and you see it all over baseball. Gone are the days of guys who were 2-pitch guys. You go to the bullpen.
Yeah.
Now you have guys coming out of the bullpen who have 3, 4, 5, 6 pitches.
Right. Yeah, a lot of those failed starters would go to the bullpen and just figure out a couple of pitches. Campusano lays off a sweeper. They do appeal, and they say he did not go.
In the case of Lake Bakker, he's got that 4-seamer, the slider, the sweeper, curveballs, a few splitters.
He laid off that curveball. Count is full. Campusano is 0 for 1 at the plate. He walked in the 4th. He waits on a payoff pitch. And he watches strike 3 call.
Watch the sweeper. Beautiful pitch by Lake Bakker.
Wasn't looking for that, was he?
Yeah, he didn't file that one away with 2 strikes on him. He wasn't expecting that. But it still has to be executed.
So now Bakker will face Sheets. He takes ball 1, a splitter miss below the zone. Sheets is 0 for 2. Ground out and a fielder's choice. And he lifts this high in the air. Back of third into shallow left. Here comes Hernandez. He's got it. And a perfect 6th inning for Lake Bakker. Marlins baseball is presented by Doral Kia, home of the Pricito, and by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. We're tied at 2 on a beautiful Friday night. In the bottom of the 6th inning. Scoreboard brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. Wandy Peralta remains into the game for San Diego. He will face Griffin Conine here to begin the last of the 6th. The Marlins have 2 solo home runs in this game. One from Joe Mack and one from Heriberto Hernandez that tied it in the 5th. He did so off a changeup facing Peralta, who was fresh into the ball game for Kyle Hart.
You mentioned the well-traveled Wandy Peralta. Been with the Reds, the Yankees, Giants, and Padres. Almost 550 games.
How about that?
And only 6 as a starter. So his entire career, he's worked out of the bullpen.
4 years in Cincinnati, 3 with the Yankees, 3 with the Padres, 3 with the Giants. He has darn near hit every time zone, hasn't he? He started his career in Cincinnati and went over to San Francisco to New York. This is his 3rd season in San Diego. There's Bradley Rodriguez loosening. Marlins seeing a steady dose of lefties here after Marquez.
Tough part for the Marlins. The deeper you get into the Padre bullpen, the better it gets.
Yes. Especially that guy that lingers in the 9th. Their bullpen ranks 10th in baseball, the 3.82 ERA. Conine spanks that, but on one hop at Cronenworth at second. He's out. There's one away. Can't hit him much harder. Well, don't forget, now's the perfect time to tune in with Marlins.tv. Stream every Marlins game this season with an all-new lower price of $54.99. You can subscribe tonight by visiting Marlins.tv. Here is Marcy, who was robbed of a hit in the 3rd. That one spins him out of the way.
And remember, last time up for Jacob Marcy off the lefty Hart, he scorched a line drive to second base, unfortunately, for an out.
Very courteous of Lance Barksdale, the veteran crew chief, to make sure that Marcy was all set and didn't need more time. Swept off the plate for him. So 1-0 on Jacob, who's 0 for 2. And Marcy grounds one up the middle to the backhand of Cronenworth, who's off balance toward first, is not in time. Well, he got robbed in the 3rd. That's a seeing eye infield single here in the 6th, and the Marlins have the go-ahead man at first with one away.
Nice to see him even out. They don't always even out that quickly. So Jacob Marcy would hit that line drive for an out. This time goes up the middle. Might have broken the bat. Little bit of hesitation in Cronenworth getting the ball out of his glove. I still don't think he would have gotten Marcy, though.
I agree.
So an infield base hit all the way.
Jacob will take it. You got speed at first with Sanoha at the plate. Song, the 3rd baseman, playing in and even with the bag. And time was called. Is this a pitch clock violation? Yes, it is. On Peralta. It's 1-0 on Sanoha. Marlins have 3 infield hits in this game tonight. Javi is 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. 1 to 3rd, 1 to 2nd. Good changeup.
Yeah, that's a key pitch for Peralta. But he did make a mistake with it to Hernandez.
And that bunt goes foul. Sanoha pops us into shallow center. And there's 2 away. Well, don't forget, we've got game 2 of this series. That comes your way tomorrow afternoon. We'll be on here at 3:45, Venezuelan Heritage Day in Home Depot Park. A lot of the proceeds will benefit the relief efforts. And now Ruben Niebla is going to come out to talk with his lefty Peralta. Assume maybe about facing Joe Mack here. You've got the right-handed hitting Otto Lopez on deck. If it gets that far, you've got Bradley Rodriguez, who's probably ready to go.
All of a sudden, the rookie Joe Mack getting the attention from other ball clubs, pitching coaches, managers.
Here's the home run from earlier. StatCast is powered by Google Cloud.
Yeah, the last 10 games now for Joe. 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. He's got a 4-game hitting streak right now. Just came up short in the 4th inning with a deep fly ball to center field.
Marlins led 1-0. They trailed 2-1. We are tied at 2 here in the 6th. They are out hitting San Diego 7-3. There is ball 1 on Joe Mack, whose homer went 399 feet. His fly out to center that you alluded to went 390. Marcy is at first. He can run. Tough to go against the lefty. And he was leaning, and he had to dive back in.
And I think that was part of that conversation to the mound, too, with all the infielders there, was be alive for Jacob Marcy.
It's a pretty big lead. Is he thinking about going? It's a delayed steal, and here's the throw down to second, and they got him. Marcy is caught stealing. 2-6 to retire the side here in the 6th. 6 in the books. We'll go to the 7th, tied at 2. Make sure you host your next event with the Marlins. Come out to the ballpark with a group of friends, family members, or colleagues. You can book your outing tonight for the best game savings and group benefits. Learn more at marlins.com/groups. Bring the group out to the ballpark. Have some fun. Very affordable. Marlins will take good care of you. Top of the 7th inning, and Xander Bogaerts is going to lead things off. Javier Sanoja was very late coming out of the dugout. They had to hold that plate for him. And Lake Bacher will stay out there and pitch the 7th inning, at least initially, for Miami. They do have activity in the bullpen as Bogaerts takes a high slider for strike 1.
Lake has, when he's on, he's got the ability with the stuff that he has to retire lefties and righties.
Yep.
That's why he's so valuable out there.
Additionally, he can always work an inning or two for you. A guy with his kind of stuff that can get out both righties and lefties and work multiple innings is just a total lifesaver. Bogaerts 0 for 1. He drew a walk in the 5th and scored a run. 8-9-1 due up for San Diego. Oh, 2. He checked the swing in time.
Good splitter, though. If you 0-2 and you want to bury a splitter to get a hitter to chase, that's right where you want to put it.
Just got a piece of the slider. Bogaerts has had a great career, 14 seasons. He has 4 times been an All-Star. He is the only position player on the Padres roster that's ever been a World Series champion. He can say he's done that twice.
Yeah, 2 times.
Yeah. And he flies this out towards the gap in left center, pretty deep, but with room. Backing up is Marcy on the track. And there's one away.
Fun to watch Jacob Marcy out there. Covers a lot of ground. Got a good jump on that. That ball carried a lot further than I thought.
There is Sungmun Song. And he flies one out towards right center. Griffin Conine tracking over onto the track. There's 2 away. How about a quick message from Warner, Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia?
Winning doesn't just happen by accident. At WHG, we know every case is earned before you ever step inside the courtroom. WHG, preparation wins.
The Marlins and the Padres preparing for a heck of a finish here. Tied at 2 in the top of the 7th. There's nobody on. There's 2 out. Here's Tatis, who's 0 for 3. Tatis has reached base safely in 22 of his last 23 road games. But he has not been on base here tonight. He's hitting .333 in his last 23 games away from Petco Park. Certainly starting to come around. He went around. It's 1-1.
Yeah, the reason it was such a mystery when he went homerless for such a long time, not too far removed, 2021, he hit 42.
Amazing. Well, since 2015, he's the only player to record 20+ homers in 11 of the last 12 seasons. Missed 2020. He went fishing for that sweeper. It's 1-2.
Well, of course, he did serve that 80-game suspension.
He did indeed. Things have looked a little different since. 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Splitter misses low away. Bacher ready to throw his 20th pitch of his outing. And the right-hander fires a 2-2 that misses outside. Fifth appearance for Lake Bacher, whose spin rate on his fastball one of the best in the big leagues. And that slider spun a little bit too far inside. It hit Tatis. And the go-ahead man is aboard for the Padres with 2 outs here in the 7th.
Yeah, this slider just gets away. You hear us talk about backup sliders every once in a while. That backed up into Tatis's elbow.
Well, he almost stuck his elbow into it a little bit. That first shot we showed, it almost looks like maybe he was just cocking back ready to swing. You actually kind of see his elbow protrude out towards the plate. Watch his elbow a little bit.
Yeah, the pitch wasn't that far inside.
Huh. He is still making his way down to first. So Tatis is aboard. Now, don't let him okey-doke you. He's got 25 stolen bases. He may very well be itching to take off. Cronenworth is at the plate. Bacher will have to be quick to it. Tatis bluffs, and the Marlins thought he was going to steal. Well, you don't see too many pitch-outs anymore. Padres have the 3rd most stolen bases in baseball with 106. Tatis has 25. He's been caught stealing 10 times. Jackson Merrill with 20 stolen bags. Bogarts with 13. But this is their threat at first. There's ball 2 on Cronenworth.
I think if you're Lake Bacher, you just concentrate on throwing strikes, being quick to the plate. Give Joe Mack a chance. Give him an opportunity if Tatis takes off.
Not going, and a 2-0 curveball misses low. You know, actually, Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jacob Marcy were tied for the National League lead with 10 caught stealings coming into the game tonight, but Marcy was caught for a league-leading 11th time there in the bottom of the 6th. Bacher needs to refocus and be careful. And he misses high with a fastball. There's ball 4. So with 2 outs, a hit by pitch and a walk. And here comes Manny Machado with the go-ahead run at second base.
Yeah, and you always hate to see this because we know what Machado can do. He already has 2 hits tonight. Picked up an RBI. That's going to be all for Lake.
So Bacher is out. That might be Tyler Zuber coming in. It is in a big situation for Zuber when we return. Now Manny Machado will do the batting here for the Padres with 2 on and 2 out here in the top of the 7th. And Manny was getting a steady dose of reports there from multiple angles.
Getting a quick Zuber tutorial
from 2 different iPads, probably a couple of different looks. Ty France was in the background there looking over Manny's shoulder.
Well, we know that Tyler Zuber can rush it up there mid-90s. Got a sweeper, good sweeper to go along with it. There it is.
You know, Manny's a guy that's going to be very aggressive. He's 2 for 3 in this game with an RBI single in the 5th. There's the numbers for Zuber. This is his 17th appearance. He's got a 4.61 ERA. Pitched twice on the road trip to Zuber. Here's a snap throw to first. Not in time.
Boy, that was close.
Yeah, it was.
That takes perfect timing too between Joe Mack and Kyle Stowers. And sometimes the catcher will put that on. Sometimes the first baseman will put it on. So they know that's going to happen because you got to cheat a little bit if you're a first baseman.
And did I see Joe Mack when he cocked back with his right hand knocked off Lance Barkdale's mask? He did. And it's still, the throw
he
was
still made
on
a
the
perfect
money.
throw.
He went around. Check that. Yes, sir. 1-2. That kid is some good. Zuber trying to get out of a jam left to him by Bakker. Tatis at second, Cronenworth at first. 2-2. Well, he challenged him with a fastball, and Machado got underneath it.
Yeah, that was a good four-seamer.
It takes a lot of trust and confidence from Clayton McCullough to put Tyler Zuber in this situation.
Yeah, this is definitely a high leverage situation.
But they believe this is the right decision. Hoping it pays off. 2-2. And a challenge coming. This is a huge challenge.
Boy, that sweeper was close.
And if Mack is right, the inning will be over. ABS powered by T-Mobile. Let's find out. Got him. Look at Joe. And the side is retired. It's a huge strikeout for Tyler Zuber. He punches out Machado. 7th inning stretch time. It's brought to you by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Welcome to the stretch presented by Celsius Energy Drinks. And hi, everybody. Craig Minervini here. We'll see you for the postgame. Ron Allen, just a bit. Good ball game tonight, 2-2. Marlins getting their power, not from Celsius tonight, but from a couple of their bats. Home run shots for Joe Mack and Heriberto Hernandez, both having terrific Julys. First, think about this. Joe Mack did not hit his first Major League homer until June 2nd. He now has 10 in his last 38 games. Double digits for Mack, the Marlins catcher. And then Hernandez with his team leading 6th homer in the month of July. 14 overall in the year. That ties Liam Hicks for the team lead. Just 231 at bats too for Hernandez. 2-2 ball game. That's how we got there. See if the Marlins can now get some runs here late and get a win and get off the schneid here of this losing skid. We'll be back to Marlins baseball after a quick word from our friends at Celsius.
Well, bottom of the 7th inning here at Lone Depot Park. Shirts are off. The boys and girls are rocking and rolling as we take a look at the Marlins game summary. 2-2, bottom 7. Ryan Gusso opened this thing up, went 3 1/3. Roberto Hernandez and Joe Mack have both homered.
Hey, how about looking at a perfect pitch? The sweeper, middle of the plate, ends up just catching the corner, challenged by Joe Mack, and he was correct.
Love that reaction. A pair of incredible reactions there. Machado was stunned, and I think Joe Mack was equally as stunned, but he knew he had to take a chance, and it pays dividends. So here is Joe. He's having a great night, but what's new at the plate and behind it? So 9-1-2 for the Marlins here in the 7th, facing Bradley Rodriguez.
He's a big guy, but there's his key pitch, that changeup. He'll use that more than his sinker and four-seamer.
After the strikeout, how about a guy in Machado that's been around for so long? Kind of like, yeah, I'll give it to you. Nicely done.
Well played.
Tip my cap.
Well
to
played.
You. Love to see that. That's cool. Well, Joe has homered once. And he lays off a changeup there, 2-2. Struck him out with a changeup. That was a good one from Rodriguez.
Yeah, he's got that big motion. And he also has that fastball, four-seamer to go along with it. And he can rush that up into the upper 90s.
So one away here in the bottom of the 7th, and here comes Otto Lopez, who's 1 for 3 in this game. Otto takes ball 1. How cool is that? You can hear the subtle chants of MVP in the background. Folks really recognizing how special of a season this has been for Otto. That's a good sinker there.
That, and I think the fans love the way he plays the game.
I agree.
You know, you don't have to be an astute baseball aficionado. You just have to be a sports fan.
Yep.
To see how this guy plays the game.
Yep. And oftentimes he's the type of guy that fans fall in love with. Might not be the star, but boy, they do everything right, and they are lovable as Otto chops one foul.
I think the Tartan Army's back.
Yeah, I think they might. It's as big of a tarps off section as we've seen all year. Lopez tops that. Fair or foul? Lance Barksdale says foul.
Oh, wait a minute. He touched it in fair territory.
That's what it looked like.
Unless he initially called it foul.
Otto can't believe it.
That's fair. That ball bounced in fair territory. He gloved it while it was up in the air, still in fair territory.
I guess this.
Look at this. Bounce it. Watch where it bounces. Fair territory. Okay, his gloves crossed the line, but he was in fair territory.
No argument from the Marlins.
That's a fair ball.
And so it's 2-2 on Lopez. And he chops one up the middle. And Cronenworth throws him out. There's 2 away.
Yeah, infielders know when Otto's running, they're going to have to pick it cleanly. I was actually surprised that Capasano tried to glove it. I figured he'd just let it go.
I guess
because it would have gone foul.
And I guess it's because he must have recognized immediately that as soon as the ball, I guess, apparently hopped right over that line, and he touched it when that ball was in foul territory, I suppose. That according to Lance Barksdale. So nobody on and 2 out, and here's Stowers. The Marlins seemingly trying to win this game with a long ball tonight. They've got a pair of solo shots. They've got 7 hits. The Padres only have 3. One on Stowers.
It's been a struggle over the 9 games. The Marlins have averaged just about 2.5 runs a game.
Stowers 3 for his last 27 at the plate. And he takes low and in for ball 3. Just got underneath that sinker. Stowers yanks that into right field for a base hit. Cutting it off is Tatis, and he holds Stowers at first. Boy, Tatis, when he wants to pick him up and put him down, he can.
Yeah, he can, and he has a cannon out there in right field. So a good choice by Kyle Stowers, who immediately was thinking double because he knows there are 2 out. He knows it's a tie game. He knows he wanted to get into scoring position. But as soon as he saw Tatis cut that ball off, he put the brakes on.
Boy, that is really impressive. A lot of guys that would absolutely try to stretch that from a single into a double and test the arm of Tatis, but he's won a couple of Gold Gloves. Remember, he came up as a shortstop, and he holds Stowers to a long single with 2 outs here in the 7th. And Ruben Niebla is carving out a path between that first base dugout and the pitcher's mound. He's out there to chat with Rodriguez now. Adrian Morejon is loosening.
Another solid, excellent left-handed arm out of that Padre bullpen.
Well, a lot of people think if Mason Miller were to be dealt, that Morejon could easily step into the closer's role if asked to do so. So now Rodriguez will face Hernandez.
See, there was a time when guys had sandpaper in their back pocket. Now they have cheat sheets.
Roberto takes a sinker at the knees for strike 1. He homered for the 14th time this season in the 5th. So his on-base streak stays alive. That's up to 16 games now. Tied for the team leading homers with Hicks. Steve right to.
Boy, he's seen the key pitches. 98, then a 90-mile-an-hour changeup.
This is low. Padres have 1 challenge remaining. The Marlins have both remaining, and Joe Mack executed one and had one overturned at the perfect time in the top half of this inning. The first and second, 2 out. Machado at the plate, rung him up. 1-2 on Heriberto. Stowers' lead has grown a little bit at first, not going anywhere, and Hernandez shoots that foul. We're also getting towards the juncture of this ball game. If it stays this way heading into the 8th, and you got to think about, is Anastario Ruiz going to pinch run at some point?
Bring in his 22 stolen bases.
Roberto waits on a 1-2. And he fists that into shallow left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Stowers turns and burns at second. On his way to third. Here comes a throw, not in time. And Hernandez is safe at second. He'll take the extra 90 on the throw to third by Sheets. And the Marlins have second and third with 2 out here in the 7th. The go-ahead man is 90 feet away.
Well, what a nice battle by Roberto Hernandez, who just continues to put together good at bat after good at bat. This changeup actually hit off the end of the batter. He didn't hit it sharply at all. And the left fielder Sheets had a long way to go. And once Hernandez saw the throw go to third, good jump too by Kyle. Once Hernandez saw that throw go to third, he took off for second base.
Greg Stammen will go to his bullpen, and a big shot for Edwards when we return. We are back here at Lone Depot Park. They are having a heck of a time here tonight, also enjoying a good ball game. 2-2 in the last of the 7th, and the Marlins are threatening. Look at that scene. Here is Adrian Morejon, the 27-year-old lefty out of La Habana in Cuba. 48th appearance of the year. Edwards is batting, and he slaps the first one foul off to the right. 0-1 on X.
This guy will give you a little bit of what Rodriguez was, only but from the left side. Fastball 99, can touch 100. Good changeup. He'll mix in a slider once in a while, more so than Rodriguez did.
Edwards lays off a changeup. Xavier is batting .298 with runners in scoring position this season. Two outs and runners in scoring position. He's hitting .356. He waits on a 1-1. He's behind in the count, 1-2.
I think one of the real keys for Xavier this year has been his consistency. There it is, from both sides of the plate. And he's worked on that. He's made an effort, and it's shown.
He is hitting .310 this season when the game is tied. And when it's tied late in high leverage, he's hitting .339. Can he come through? He take that changeup. It's a good eye there. 2-2 now. Morejon comes set above the belt, chest high, kicks and fires at 2-2, and Edwards went after it, and he came up empty. It's a 101-mile-an-hour fastball, and the Marlins leave 2 in scoring position. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Miami Marlins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. Night has fallen here in the Magic City. We're tied at 2 as we go to the 8th. It is crunch time now. This one is tightly contested, but that probably shouldn't surprise many as Ty France leads off the top of the 8th inning for San Diego. 17 of the last 32 games between these two teams have been decided within 2 runs. France shoots one towards right center. That's a base hit and then some. It goes all the way to the wall. Ty France is on his way to second. He's got the 4th hit of the ball game for the Padres, and it's a leadoff double to start the 8th.
Yeah, France does not run that well, but he takes care of this two-seamer. Once it finds that right center field gap, he's going to go ahead and get himself in scoring position.
And now they want a little bit more speed out there, and they're going to get it with Jace Bowen, 25-year-old out of Ohio. They don't just improve the speed, they improve it a lot. So here's Merrill, and he shoots that foul.
You know, Jackson Merrill is one of the reasons Jacob Marcy is here. Center fielder for the Padres. Signed to a nice contract.
Merrill 0 for 3 tonight. He lined out in the 4th. 27th overall pick was Merrill in 2021. And it was a nice contract you alluded to. How about a 10-year, $156 million deal that runs through the 2035 season for Merrill?
Well, he had that terrific year in 2024, his rookie year.
Oh, yeah. It's the first and only time today he's been an All-Star. Finished second Rookie of the Year voting in the National League in 2024, did Merrill. And he finished runner-up that season. To Paul Skeens. He waits on a 1-2 from Zuber. And Tyler got him to foul off that sweeper.
Yeah, lucky he fouled it off. He got that up a little bit. See if he can come back and make a good pitch.
This is on the shoulders of Zuber here. There is no activity in that Marlins bullpen. Zuber got the final out of the 7th, struck out Machado looking on a sweeper. Trying to work around the leadoff double by Ty France here in the 8th.
Yeah, that's a lot better. The one prior to that was up a little bit. That time he buried it and got the big strikeout. Oh, perfect. Started in the zone, ended up out of the zone.
And now Craig Stammen is going to utilize a pinch hitter. I believe this is going to be the veteran Luis Rengifo. And it is, which will now summon a visit from Daniel Moscas to the mound. He's got his cheat sheet out. Craig Stammen looking on. Daniel Moscas just had an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. He was going over the Rengifo scouting report. And so now Tyler Zuber and company need to figure out a way to get out the veteran.
Yeah, one thing, Rengifo's been one of their hot hitters. He's hit 450 on this long road trip that they're on. Got a home run, 5 RBI. So
he has 10 career pinch hits. He's 3 for 12 this season, batting .250. 29-year-old Venezuelan can play all across the diamond. Spent 7 years with the Angels. Spent some time in Milwaukee. Signed as a free agent with the Padres on June 29th, so not even a month ago. It's just his 25th plate appearance with the Padres, and he takes a slider for strike 1. He had a couple really good seasons in 2022 and 2023, a 17 homer and 16 homer type of guy in those 2 seasons, but not known for his power. Rengifo hits that in the air to right field. Indeed, Conine is back. He's at the wall, and it's gone. And a guy not known for his power goes deep for the 2nd time this season. And the Padres have a 4-2 lead.
Well, you talk about a big move for Craig Stammen. Pinch hitting Rengifo for his catcher Campusano, who's a pretty good hitter in his own right. But this sweeper stays up. We talked about the one that Merrill fouled off, then the one he threw him that he was able to get the strikeout. That one was back up in the zone.
And into the seats and right. He knew it all the way. And one batter later, Clayton McCullough is going to go to his bullpen. And Zuber couldn't believe it. Thought he made a pretty good pitch on a sweeper. The Padres lead 4-2, and we'll take a bullpen and a pitching change break.
We just put it all on repeat. Every day doing my thing. I'm gonna keep doing my thing. We don't really get no sleep. We just put it all on repeat. I pee up and re-up and beat up the beat. Divas come meet up and greet us with peace. Chevy, two-seaters, I speed up the street. Speed of a cheetah, I pick up the cheese. Getting to the chips every day on repeat. They wanna run and say everything, I retweet. See us, no free stuff, so we up the feed. Cool as a freezer, but we got the heat. Grind meddling, melanin full of medicine. Motivated by the money, power for my brethren. Every day leverage and fellowshipping with veteran. Do it for residual and give it to the relatives. Oh, that's the only path I know. That's the way.
Back here at Lone Depot Park, where Luis Rengifo has just hit his first career pinch hit home run. A 2-run shot here in the top of the 8th. And the Padres have a 4-2 lead. And we have an ABS challenge, and John King is now on the mound.
Good to see John King back. Spent time on the IL with that ankle sprain. But it's really a key part of that bullpen because he adds that other lefty.
So Marlins challenge. Mack misses on that one. They have one left. Gavin Sheets lifts one foul off to the right. A minimum stay on the injured list for John King. Here's your roster move of the day. Zach Brixey was optioned to AAA Jacksonville. It was a left lateral ankle sprain for King, so good to see John King back. 41st appearance of the season, a 2.48 ERA as the southpaw fires the slider in the dirt.
Yeah, because now with King back, you have Dax Fulton, King, and Cade, all three left-handers. So
absolutely.
you know it really helps to have 3 left-handers out of that bullpen. Good sweeper there.
Two is a comebacker right to King. 2 away. And here comes Bogaerts. Bogaerts is 0 for 2. It's 0-2, but another ABS challenge coming. It's a Padres challenge, and that is a ball. And it's 1-1. And 3-1 on Bogaerts.
John King's pitches are heavy. 2-seamer, changeup. That's why he gets a lot of ground balls.
Such a terrific get by Peter Bendix this offseason. His best, I think it's fair to say. John King has been terrific. There's ball 4. So Bogaerts takes his second walk of the game. King is the 6th different pitcher used by Clayton McCullough in this ball game tonight.
Six walks have been issued. A hit batter. So there have been some free passes.
6 walks, 7 strikeouts. The hit batter. Marlins led 1-0, trailed 2-1. They tied it with a Hernandez homer before the Rengifo pinch hit homer, the first of his career here in the 8th. As Sung-Mung Song lays off a sinker, it's 2-0. There goes the runner. Here's a throw down to second, and that's going to sail into center. Going to third is Bogaerts, so they will have to charge an error on Joe Mack. That'll be his 6th of the season. Bogaerts with the stolen base is 14th.
You know, he got a tremendous jump, and Joe Mack still almost threw him out. If the throw's on line, I think he might have him. But it really sailed on him. Probably tried to rush it because he saw the jump that Bogaerts got.
There's strike 1 on Song. And there's ball 4. Back-to-back 2-out walks issued by King, who has faced 3 and retired 1, and now we go back to the top of the order.
He's trying to get in a groove. You spend a little time off, and you get back out on the mound. You have to try to get that rhythm going, because he generally is a strike thrower.
There's still time to go here tonight, but it does feel, at least right now, like a little bit of wind has been taken out of the Marlins' sails, but they're going to have to fight back. Tatis lays off a curveball for ball 1. Tatis 0 for 3. He was hit by a pitch in the 7th. Bouncer left side. Lopez will go to second, and the inning is over. But a 2-run homer by Luis Rengifo. A pinch hit 2-run homer. And the Padres lead 4-2. Marlins baseball is presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. By Mountain Dew, get a Baja for a blast. And by Hard Rock Bet, official bet partner of the Miami Marlins. Bottom of the 8th inning scoreboard brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia. Marlins trailing the Padres 4-2 after Luis Rengifo's first career pinch hit home run in the top of the 8th. Morejon still out there. Liam Hicks is batting. He's behind in the count, 0-2. Padres have used 5 pitchers. Marlins have used 6.
I'll look forward to seeing Yuri Perez tomorrow night. Coming off that nice outing.
Yes.
In Houston. He gave up 1 hit.
There's the 0-2 to Hicks. Missed outside. Down 2. All you got to do is find a way to get 1 person on base, and the tying run comes to the plate.
That was in Milwaukee, not Houston.
Yes.
I know you gave me that funny look, so
I chop her towards first. The fair ball. Morejon picks it up, steps on the back. Now some defensive changes to tell you about here for the Padres. There's Sheets who goes to first. Fermin catching, and Bowen is in left. And now Leo Jimenez is going to pinch hit for Griffin Conine. So Jimenez pinch hitting. Esteury Ruiz has stepped out to the on-deck circle for Marcy. And Morejon's offering to Jimenez misses outside at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was just thinking, you mentioned Morejon from Cuba, as is Aroldis Chapman, who they call the Cuban Missile. Well, this guy throws as hard as Chapman.
He's really good. 2-0 misses outside for ball 3. You saw Fauché and Fairbanks loosening in the bullpen. I'm sure Fairbanks is just beginning to loosen in the event the Marlins draw closer, and maybe they'd even have to tie it, obviously. And a 3-0 is up and away, ball 4. So Jimenez pinch hitting, draws a 4-pitch walk, and now Ruiz will pinch it. Make sure you celebrate the Marlins 2003 World Series champion shortstop Alex Gonzalez. How about another collector's pin series? Special ticket package will include a seat on the Legends level and that pin. Don't miss the Legends pin series tomorrow at 4:10. And you can get your tickets at marlins.com/pin series.
Saw an interview with Mike Lowell where he was answering quick questions, and one of them, best double play combination he'd ever seen. Alex Gonzalez, Luis Castillo.
How about that?
Without any hesitation.
How about that? All right, Hud, here we go. The tying run is at the plate, and Ruiz is a guy that's kind of had some sneaky pop all year. I'd love to see him pop one out of here on one of those 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. Just turn and burn on one. And he takes a changeup low. That's 5 consecutive out of the zone by Morejon.
Yeah, he might have been thinking fastball, and he got the changeup.
Comes the 1-0. Ruiz showing bunt and pulls back and takes a sinker all the way, almost forcing Morejon to throw a strike.
Yeah, I think what he was doing, he was taking all the way. Some hitters like to do that. Right. Some like to just stand up and get a good look at the pitch as it comes by. Just take their regular stride, their regular stance.
Yeah, now it's 1-2. So know how to follow Ruiz. And the next pitch. It's in the dirt.
He's having a little trouble with his changeup, throwing it for strikes. So I would think he doesn't want to go to 3-2 if he misses. You got to be ready for the fastball anyway with 2 strikes.
Ruiz hitting .243 with 5 homers. That's upstairs for ball 3. Boy, now the question becomes, you got enough speed at the plate, you don't really worry about them turning a double play, but do you turn the runner loose with a full count situation?
Yeah, but the guy throwing 100 is going to get to Fermin quickly. I would say no.
Mason Miller has begun loosening in the bullpen for San Diego in case he's needed for 1+. And there is strike 3 called at the top of the zone. Ruiz will challenge, and unfortunately I believe the Marlins are about to be without challenges. ABS powered by T-Mobile. It was called strike 3, and it is strike 3.
Yeah, right at the top of that zone at triple digits or close to it.
And I'm sure it didn't look and feel that way to Ruiz. But now there's 2 out, and Sanoha will be the batter. I'm sure he obviously felt like that was high.
And that's why you don't send the runner.
So now there's 2 out. Here's Javi. He's hacking away at the first one. It's 0-1. Barksdale needed an extra moment there. That foul ball got him. Marlins tonight trying to avoid losing a 10th consecutive game. Can they come back? That one made Sanoha jump out of the way. Mason Miller loosening. I'm not sure who that would be for unless somehow it gets to Seiya Lopez in the top of the order. Maybe that's what it would be. Morey home with a 1-1. 1-2.
Yeah, you know, if you're in close games with the Padres and you get to the last couple of innings, you're going to see triple digits either from Morejon or from Miller.
A lot of triple-digit heat down the stretch. Sanoha stays alive, fighting off that changeup. Still 1-2 on Javi. Sanoha lifts a fly ball to center. It's going to get Morejon out of the inning. So we'll go to the top of the ninth, and the Marlins trail by a pair.
The meat.
And back with you here at Lone Depot Park, where the Padres have a 4-2 lead over the Marlins as we venture into the top of the ninth inning. It'll be Cronenworth, Machado in France. Leo Jimenez is now at third base for Miami. Ruiz in center, Sanoha's in right, and Calvin Fauché on the mound. And here is Cronenworth, who's 0 for 1. He has drawn 3 walks in this game. And not France, Bowen, I beg your pardon. Cronenworth, Machado, Bowen. As Bowen pinch ran for France in the 8th. And a bouncing ball up the middle. A sliding stop by Lopez.
Oh!
He got him. What a play. How did he do that, huh?
Never thought he had a chance. He's shading up the middle, so he's thinking that way. Here comes the chopper. Pop-up slide. The whole key to that was the fact that he was able to get up so quickly. So all is well with the finger problem because he made an excellent throw, too.
That was Gold Glove worthy right there by Otto Lopez. Wow, what a play. So here is Manny Machado. He and Calvin Fauché have a little history. And he tied him up with a sinker. And a 2-0. Flashback to the bottom of the 8th inning of May 26th of last year. Manny Machado on that swing gave the Padres a 3-2 lead at Petco Park. There's a foul ball. I should say the score at the time was 3-2. Manny tied the game with that swing, a ball game that would go to extras. And see the Padres walk off that game on a Kate Gibson wild pitch with Jake Cronenworth at the plate, some may recall. Machado waits on a 3-1. He's 2 for 4. And he bounces one up the middle. Should be a bit easier for Otto. It is. And he is retired. There's 2 out.
And Manny out in front of the sweeper, hit it off the end of the bat.
And here is Jace Bowen batting for the first time. He pinch ran in the 8th. 11th round pick was Bowen by the Pirates in 2019 out of high school in Toledo, Ohio. He elected free agency from the Pirates organization, and he signed as a free agent with the Padres in November. He finally got his taste of the major leagues on June 2nd. Swings and misses there. It's 1-2. That's sinker at 97 miles an hour. We haven't seen a whole lot of that from Fauché lately.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's got a really good rhythm right now. He's working quickly, and sometimes when he struggles, the pace slows down. But right now, and I think that play by Otto got him fired up.
Swing and a miss. Nice bounce back, perfect 9th inning for Calvin Fauché. The Marlins will face Mason Miller when we return. Down 2 in a 9-1-2. Mack, Lopez, and Stowers will be due up. And back here we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Marlins trailing by 2 and heavy lifting to do now. Here comes the 27-year-old flame-throwing right-hander Mason Miller.
You know, we talked about some relievers. We were talking about it earlier, who nowadays you see have 4 or 5 pitches. Well, Mason Miller, he'll actually throw more sliders than 4-seamers. Forget about the changeup. But the slider he'll throw more. Hitters hitting 148, and they're really crushing the 4-seamer at 150.
And the first man that he faces is Joe Mack, who bounces one fair over the bag at first. 1 pitch and 1 out. I mean, look at some of this.
It's amazing.
His fastball averages 101.3 miles an hour. I mean, it's truly remarkable to see some of those numbers. It feels like it's a typo, but it's not. It's incredible.
Well, with that last fastball, he's thrown 269 fastballs of 100 miles an hour or more.
So Miller now facing Lopez. If Lopez could get on, it would certainly set up a little bit of drama with Stowers on deck.
Just keep adding on to that number. Of course, the leader in pitches over 100 miles an hour, The Miz, with Milwaukee.
He does that in warm-up, so.
He's thrown 696 pitches.
Isn't that amazing? Slider misses low on Otto. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Earlier this season, Mason Miller became the first pitcher in the history of the game to strike out the side 5 times in a 7-appearance stretch. He has struck out the side in both of his last 2 outings. That's not going to happen here tonight. As Otto bounces out of the way of a slider, but it's in there for a strike. It's 1-2.
Yeah, you gear yourself up for that fastball, and all of a sudden he drops in that slider.
And for all these names on the Padres roster, he was the lone Padres All-Star representative. 1-2 is bounced towards third. Song comes in on it, plays it nicely, throws out Lopez. There's 2 away, and here comes Kyle Stowers. Well, a swing that many of us will never forget with the bases loaded last season. Mason Miller and the Athletics in town. Stowers drove one out of the ballpark to the opposite field. It was a walk-off grand slam. A little over a year ago, a year and 2 months ago.
Boy, what a feeling that was for Kyle. Stayed on that heater, took it the other way.
Not sure how many heaters up and away he'll see here, because you know that Mason Miller will not forget that. Marlins down to their final out. There's ball 2. Padres took the lead for good in the 8th. It's high for ball 3. You've got Hernandez on deck. Marlins looking for a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate here in the ninth.
It's all you can ask for.
At this juncture, I would agree. Stowers takes strike one. Miss strike two.
I think it's going to be he's going to challenge him one more time with that.
Marlins were winless on the road trip. They were swept by the Mariners going into the break. It's been 2 weeks and a day since they last won, and they're down to their final strike here tonight. Three-two coming from Miller to Stowers. Here it is. And he struck him out, and the ball game is over. And the losing streak has reached 10 games for Miami.
Well, I think we've seen the strength of this Padres team right at the back end of the bullpen with Marrone and then Miller closing it out. And I think the other struggle that continues is the struggle in scoring runs. We talked about it. Now over the 10-game losing streak, the Marlins have averaged just a little over 2 runs a game. They did get the long ball. Got the long ball from Hernandez, number 10 for Joe Mack. But they have to start stringing together things, making a few things happen, and scoring some more runs. That's bottom line.
No, Marrone, your winner tonight. Zuber, the loser for the first time this season. Miller's 26 save. Final score: Padres 4 and the Marlins 2. Plenty more coverage from this one is coming up next. Tommy Hutton and Craig Mish, our director Brad Gerson, and our producer John Sulser. I'm Kyle Seeloff saying so long from Lone Depot Park, and thanks so much for joining us tonight. The postgame show is next.